Hey fellow aviators, welcome to one of the first versions of Turboprop Flight Simulator, version 1.04. In today's video, we'll check it out and see how much have things changed since 2017. Let's begin. First of all, let's play a game. Can you already spot the first difference? Yeah. The plane from the menu cutscene is C400, and not the MC400 like today. We can also notice that the menu cutscene has the afternoon preset, and not the noon preset like we have today. Another thing is the locked free flight mode. It's not soft locked like nowadays, and to unlock it, you have to complete the first missions. And we'll get to that. Let's check out some essentials first. For example, we can go to the control settings and see one key difference. There's no vehicle steering tab, because back then, in version 1.04, TFS simply did not have any vehicles. Meanwhile, in the settings tab, we don't have the 60 FPS limit, UI offset from edges option, which is, to be honest, anyway pretty new, and UI and HUDs settings, such as in-game UI opacity, UI HUD opacity, cockpit HUD opacity, and HUD color. Which is sad because I genuinely love changing HUD's color to transparent one. We'll have to fly with the purple one today. This is a tragedy. Moving to the info tab, we don't have many articles here either. The ads tab is also a bit different. And the one interesting thing is that the plane in this video just stops at the end of the runway and doesn't taxi to the parking. That's pretty fun. Anyway, onto the aircraft viewer, and it loads extremely fast because we have just 3 planes here. And all of them are just the C400 variants. HC and MC400 don't have any alternative liveries. And one important thing to note about HC400 is that it lacks the glossy effect and shadows, and that's why it looks much worse in this version. Obviously no JATO or flares and chefs. Obviously the most interesting part is the free flight, its menu and the way it works, and trust me, it will be really different to what we see today. But first, unfortunately, we'll have to complete the missions. So let's start with that. As you can see, there's really nothing unusual here. So as you can see from the tutorial missions, nothing really changed in terms of controls since version 1.04 since 2017. Obviously that's if we don't count some stuff like autopilot, but the key controls stayed pretty much the same. So, as we completed the basic training, taxiing and takeoff, and landing missions, we now have the free flight mode unlocked. First let me show you the remaining missions. And as you can see, even back then, ASGamesoft worked on adding tons of various missions. Which is nice, since obviously, in 2017 there wasn't that much stuff to do in free flight mode. So trying different unusual and entertaining missions was more than enough. But in any case, let's go see the free flight mode. And just look at that. So now we can confidently say that the free flight menu had at least 3 different versions. Again, just 3 aircraft, and we don't have any customizations to them. Just 6 airports, and 9 presets instead of 11, like we have today. So, that's how it looks like. And it's hard to explain, but feels like the game is much less saturated. But overall, everything looks pretty close to what we have now. Here's another interesting thing. If we go to the menu, we don't have the map, which obviously made things a bit more complicated back then. We can also see that manual brakes button is just called brakes, and this panel is not called components like now, but overall it has the same features. Same things in info tab as well. So now, let's go to the cockpit. And honestly, it looks the same. Maybe some things are different, but not that I could tell right away. Also, we don't have the screens button, which is usually here, near cameras, so we can change these screens. And obviously remove the HUD. That doesn't matter, let's just take off. We even have the city here, so obviously the terrain wasn't really different. Although if you fly to Archipelago you won't be able to find it, because it only got added in version 1.20. Well honestly, if you didn't tell me this was an old version, I wouldn't even really notice, at first at least. That's how similar it looks like. Let's see what happens if we crash. Nothing unusual here. And if you're a new TFS fan, then I've got some news for you. The explosion effects got added only in August 2024, with the 1.31 version. So this was the crash animation we used to have for 7 years. Let's try to maybe perform a water landing. You know, I already played this version back in 2022, so this isn't anything new for me. But if it was, my reaction would be, what is this? Why? I can't even explain what's happening here. You know, there are 3 things you can watch forever. Fire burning, water falling, and whatever this is. This is brilliant. Just look at that. Windmills ascending, terrain turning into nothing. That could be some kind of a screensaver, you know. By the way, in terms of presets, completely no customization too. Not the fog, obviously, not even the wind, just cosmetic stuff. Now that we have the in-person mode, let's look around. The doors have no sound when you open or close them. Even the cargo door. And check this out. This is one of the most infamous bugs TFS had, and I genuinely don't remember in which version it got fixed. But what I do remember is that we had it for years. The terrain ahead of us just looks really pixelated. It's like we're running TFS on really low graphics settings. Yeah, that too. In any case, let's maybe take off and try to jump out of the plane. Oh yeah, that bug exists here too. Even if you're standing, not really doing anything, you'll keep moving. Yeah, these pixels make everything look so much worse. But well... Also, yeah, we did not have the parachute option back then. That happens even if you jump out of the aircraft. So, what can I say in conclusion? Obviously, this version of the game has some flaws. But even with these flaws and these problems, it still feels like something unique. Something very new to the flight simulation community back then. A completely free flight simulator with so many possibilities for fun. I really enjoyed playing this version. Not only because of the bugs, but also because I got to feel like part of the history. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to hit the like button. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.